Margaret, Kriss.
Good afternoon. I appreciate the opportunity to address you guys. This is my first time doing this, but I feel that it's important, very important to come out. I oppose any infringement against having our guns. The Constitution allows it, and that was for a reason. Any unarmed society is ripe for government control, and that is our only defense against a totalitarian government. I'm talking about, I don't have statistics, so I'm going to give you instances. I lived on the west side of Manchester for over 10 years. I've saw a steady decline in the quality of life on the west side of Manchester due to the opiate crisis. We had a police officer shot 5 times by an untreated schizophrenic. I bet you dollars to donuts he didn't apply for a gun permit. This was due to lack of mental health funding, which they did in turn give a $1 million grant to Manchester Mental Health after that happened, closing the barn door after the horse is gone. If they're going to do mental health background checks, how are they going to get past the federal HIPAA laws that protect our medical and psychiatric information? That is just quite the contrast, and I'm wondering how they plan on getting around that. As far as the woman talking about her 17-year-old who didn't actually be in a lockdown, my daughter was. She goes to the Indiana school system. There was a school shooting last year. She was half an hour away from where it took place, and she was in lockdown. Now, currently, while we're talking about infringing rights, our courts are unconstitutional. We have parents committing suicide because they don't have contact with their children, and a lot of them are military veterans. You know, they're talking about funding more for DCYF when each state gets federal incentives for children removed from their families, which has caused a crisis in the United States of a lot of children not having contact with either of their parents or just one. This is a society problem that is creating, broken families are creating the problems with our children, and why people are wondering what makes school shooters. That could be a contributing factor. No liberties are removed all at the same time. They're removed little by little until we have none. We arm other countries. We don't do background checks on them. We've armed Kurds. We've armed Contras. Did they pass a background check? I highly doubt it. We are taking a dangerous turn.
3 minutes.
I would appreciate the same courtesy that you gave all the women to read 4 pages, and you're asking me to stop now.
No,
3 minutes.
we just, a little while ago, I just requested people to do 3 minutes.
Okay, well, my daughter, the reason that she is in Indiana is because they don't respect parental rights and constitutional rights in our family courts. And she shouldn't even be in Indiana. And she's not receiving trauma counseling for having a lockdown, nor are the students from Central High that were in a lockdown because there was an armed person a couple blocks away that was surrounded by a SWAT team. So, I mean, we can go on and on about this, but all these infringements are not going to stop mentally ill people from obtaining guns. It would be easier for me as a person with a diagnosis of depression and having a 10-year-old felony to go to Lawrence and get a firearm than it would to get it from you people as it currently is, while they're trying to introduce more legislation to make it near impossible. Then people won't be asking your permission anymore. Thank you.
I have 3 more people.
Croc TV.